1,500 years ago, a Sith Lord had an illegitimate son with one of his many lovers. He ordered his mistress to kill the child, but a mother's love was not so easily shattered. She kept the boy and raised him the best that she could, but her mercy would not go unpunished. When the boy was 10, his stepfather learned of his mother's infidelity and attacked her. The boy snapped his neck, but then turned his wrath on his own mother, torturing and killing her for the lie of his parentage. The boy realized that he was quite fond of torture and murder, and carved a path of destruction across his homeworld. And when the Sith Lord tried to put a stop to his wayward bastard, he fatally underestimated just how powerful the young boy had become. The boy captured his father and tortured him for his own amusement. But instead of being punished for his acts of homicide, matricide, and patricide, the Sith Empire rewarded the boy's ambition, naming him Lord Vitiate and granting him ownership over his father's lands, which he named Nathema. Lord Vitiate watched from the sidelines as Naga Sadow's Sith cult waged the great hyperspace war across the Republic. When the Sith betrayed each other, as the Sith always do, and when the Republic crushed them, as we always do, Lord Vitiate opened up the planet of Nathema as a refuge for the scattered Sith forces. 8,000 of the fools apparently didn't learn the lesson of treason, because when they arrived on Nathema, Lord Vitiate betrayed them, dominating their minds and using them as living batteries, consuming their power in a terrible ritual that destroyed the Sith and all life on the planet. Now more spirit than flesh, and wielding nigh on unlimited power, Vitiate transferred his sentience into a human host and declared himself the Sith Emperor, leading the shattered remnants of his people to Droman Kos, where he could start rebuilding the Empire in his own image, and where the people would hail him as their immortal savior. Here, Vitiate had grand aspirations of a new ritual, to consume all life in the galaxy, make himself a god, and then stretch his power into the universe beyond. All he had to do was get everyone to kill each other, and with every death his power would grow until none could stand against him. But unlike his predecessors, Vitiate had a terrifying attribute: patience. He would bide his time until his forces were ready to complete his vision, and for centuries he prepared his empire for the great slaughter. When he was satisfied with its progress, he discovered the perfect instrument to weaken the Republic and kickstart his ascension into godhood: the Mandalorians. Vitiate conned Mandalore the Ultimate into invading the Republic in a story that deserves its own log, but the short version is that the Mandalorians rampaged across the galaxy, decimating entire planets as they went, and fueling the Emperor's power with every death. But, as always, the Jedi were there to stop the carnage. The Republic, under the leadership of Jedi like Revan, Malak, and Surik, turned the tide and wiped the floor with the Mandalorians until they were nothing more than scattered mercenaries clinging on to a shattered culture. But Revan and Malak could tell that something had led the Mandalorians into their suicidal attack on the Republic. They ventured into the unknown regions until they discovered Emperor Vitiate waiting for them. Even heroes like Revan and Malak were no match for Vitiate's power. He corrupted them, and the saviors became the oppressors in a terrible civil war. Revan eventually broke free of Vitiate's influence and defeated his old friend Malak to bring peace to the galaxy. But Revan knew that this peace would be temporary unless the Emperor was destroyed. Once again, he traveled into the unknown regions to face Vitiate, and once again, he was defeated. Vitiate dominated Revan's mind, but made a miscalculation, because as much as he tied himself to Revan, Revan tied himself to Vitiate, and used his mental influence over the Emperor to delay the Emperor's conquest until the Republic was ready to defeat him. Even Revan, as powerful as he was, could not halt Vitiate's ambition forever, and when the Empire returned, the cogs of the Emperor's galaxy-wide slaughter began to turn once more, laying the foundation for a ritual that would leave the galaxy as barren and lifeless as Nathema. But as the Imperial steamroller prepared to crush the Republic, as always, the Sith betrayed each other. As always, the Republic found its footing and began to push back against its divided opponent. And, as always, a Jedi was there to finish the job. In a daring raid on Droman Kos, the hero of Tython infiltrated the Emperor's stronghold and put Vitiate's mortal flesh to the sword, and his spirit retreated to Yavin 4 to recuperate. He might have laid there dormant for another 1,000 years had it not been for Revan's madness. Revan was convinced that as long as even a fragment of the Emperor was alive, he was still a threat to all life in the galaxy. Revan went to Yavin 4 and attempted to solidify Vitiate's spirit into a single form so that way he could put an end to the threat once and for all. But he failed, and Vitiate's spirit was unleashed back into the galaxy. Unknown to both the Republic and the Empire, Vitiate had been working on a pet project in the unknown region. A new empire, with limitless resources and a fleet that could block out the stars. And now that he had woken up from his slumber on Yavin 4, he was ready to unleash this eternal empire on a galaxy shattered by war, ripe for the taking. But we'll cover that tale next week. For now, stay safe out there. Signing off.